Hey everyone, thank you for watching today's video. I'm so excited to do. It is going to be the If I Could Only Keep One tag that was started by my friend Kelly Gooch here on YouTube. I'm so excited to finally be doing this tag. I will of course have Kelly's video linked down below if you have not yet seen it, but I know a lot of people have been doing it and I have been slowly putting my list together. But also I'm really excited to do today's video because it is going to be a collab with Rhonda from Hot Mess Mama MD. I will have her channel and her video linked down below. She asked if I'd want to do this tag video with her and I said, girl, I will do this tag video with you. So make sure to head over to Hot Mess Mama MD's channel to check out all of her choices that she would keep if she could only keep one in each of these different categories. I really love her channel. She is so sweet and also so hardworking. She puts out so many different YouTube videos and she has a ton of different content over on her channel. She's somewhat of a newer channel to me, probably within just like the past couple months here or so. I want to say she was recommended, was it from Jen Loves Reviews that I found her channel perhaps? And once I did, I just continually kept watching her videos. She has such a bubbly personality and she's just super fun to watch, and like I said, she puts out a lot of content, a lot of different content, and she is a really hard worker over here on YouTube, and I love chatting with her on Twitter as well. So I will have Rhonda's information linked in my description box and I'm excited to see her picks for this tag video. But if you want to see the products that I chose, if I could only keep one in these categories, why don't we go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so first off, Kelly. This was a tough one. I mean, Kelly did this video a while ago and I immediately was like, obviously I'm gonna do it. But I was like, man, this is tough. And also as I was filling it out, I was trying not to choose my favorites in each category because it's not necessarily supposed to be your favorites in each category. It's supposed to be if you only had that one product in that category and you had to continually wear it every single day. So there was different factors built into it, but I still feel like I have a lot of my favorites in here. I just really couldn't pick other things. I tried to do all of Kelly's categories as well, except I believe she did a lipstick and a lip gloss, and I'm gonna do a lipstick and a liquid lipstick, so regular lipstick and liquid lipstick instead of a gloss because I'm not much of a gloss wearer. I say this today as I have gold glitter gloss on my lips. I don't know, Coachella's coming up and everyone's doing festival looks and I'm just seeing like people with glitter splashed all over their faces. I'm like, I want to splash glitter all over my face too, so I don't know. But anyways, to get into my picks for primer, this was a tough one because immediately it went to my favorite primer and I was like, no, just think about it if you're talking every single day. But I'm like, this is the primer that I want to have every single day. It's the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I want to wear this primer every day. And there's other primers, like I have a primer in my Finish 18 in 2018 Project Pan that I'm like, use that primer. I have other like mini primers that I'm trying to get through, but I want to use this primer every single day. I love the way it makes my skin, like even if I don't put foundation on afterwards, it just instantly gives my skin a boost. It looks more hydrated. It's beautiful, and no matter like what under foundation I'm wearing, it still looks really good. So this would have to still be my primer. I had to do it. For my foundation, awkward, I don't have it in my collection at this moment, but I'm gonna get it back. I made this pact with myself because, you know, obviously I'm a makeup lover. I buy a lot of makeup and I love makeup, what can I say? And especially when it comes to foundations, I've gone through this foundation kick for a while. And I have a lot of foundations. So my favorite foundation that I love is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation. I ran out of it a couple months ago and I told myself I have to finish a foundation before I repurchase it, just because I have so many that I have foundation like organizers for my foundations, and I have so many foundations I can't even fit them into the organizers, so I just have foundations lined up next to them. So I said, before you purchase that foundation, you gotta finish another one. So that's my goal and that's what I'm striving for. But if I had to pick one foundation to keep or to continually wear every single day, it would be the L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation. I love that foundation. And it was one of the first like YouTube recommendations for foundation that I purchased and fell in love with. It was a recommendation from Jaclyn Hill. I just love the foundation. I love the coverage. It's medium. It's lightweight on the skin. It gives me a dewy finish, but my skin still looks natural when I wear it. I can wear it in the winter. I can wear it in the summer. It's my favorite foundation. So as I was looking through my foundations, I have other ones that, you know, I'm like, that's my favorite too. And I had other ones, but I was like, you know what, if I'm talking every single day, what I have to wear every single day, it would be that foundation. And it's also impressive to me that I did finish that foundation because, like I said, I have quite the foundation collection, and obviously, I mean, I only wear one foundation every day, and some days I don't wear foundation. So when I get through a full foundation, that really shows me how much I love it. So it would have to be the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. I'm gonna get it. I'm almost done with my L'Oreal Pro Glow. I'm trying so hard to finish it because my reward for finishing it is getting able to buy the True Match Lumi, and I'm gonna be excited when that day comes. Moving on to concealer. Again, this is my favorite one. And this was another one when I looked back at my collection, I was like, think about it, but it still would have to be the Urban Decay Naked Skin because I like the coverage that it gives for my under eyes. It's not too full coverage because when I went on my Arizona trip, I brought with me the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer, which I really do like, but that's almost like too full coverage. And if we're talking something that I have to wear every single day, I could not wear something that full coverage every single day. But I also want something with a decent enough coverage, and this one I feel like brings it, and I feel like it's good for like spot concealing as well. I just feel like it's the best for every day. It would have to be the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This is one that when I go traveling a lot, this is what I bring with me because it just is like, it's just like a no-brainer on my skin. It's a no-brainer. It's the Urban Decay Naked Skin. It's my favorite. I can't help it. For bronzer was a tough one for me because I don't have a ton of bronzers, but I feel like the majority of my small bronzer collection, all of them are my favorite. Like, I'm like, that's my favorite, that's my favorite, that's my favorite. So I'm like, which one would I actually choose if I had to have a bronzer for every single day? And what I came up with was one of my current favorites, the Becca Capri Coast Bronzer. I've talked about this one a lot recently, and I chose this one for a couple of different reasons. It's not too light, it's not too dark, so I could wear it for both seasons. You know, I definitely have those bronzers where I need my summer tan to wear them. I have those bronzers that are even lighter than this one, like the Physicians Formula is lighter than this one that I have in light. And so like for the summer, I wouldn't be able to wear that one, you know, that sort of thing. So this one, I feel like the coloring is good for all seasons. It has like the slightest shimmer to it. So I still think it would be pretty for summer, but it's not like a shimmer bronzer where it's going to be too overwhelming. So I just felt like out of my bronzer collection, this one would make the most sense if I was talking about wearing the same bronzer every single day. So I had to give it to Becca Capri Coast. And then moving on to blush, this one was hard for me because I was really trying to narrow it down to single products instead of doing things like palettes, because I could have chose like face palettes, I could have chose like highlight palettes, you know, things like that. But I was like, no, if I'm really trying to narrow it down, like that was my challenge for myself, like narrow it down to one shade, and like what would you really pick? And so I also don't have a huge single blush collection because I'm more of a palette girl. I like my face palettes and things like that. So this one was tough for me, and I was looking, I just have two little drawers of my single blushes, and I was looking in there and looking in there, and if I had to think of a blush color that I would want to wear every single day, I want to wear a neutral blush. I don't want anything too shimmery, I don't want anything too pink, I don't want anything too deep, you know, that sort of thing. I want it to be a very neutral blush. The most neutral blush that I could find in my collection is this one from Tarte Paaarty. It was a Sephora birthday gift like 2 years ago, I think it was. So this is a mini guy, but if I'm talking about coloring, this would be the color because it's very nice and neutral. It's got a little bit of pink to it, but for the most part, it's very neutral on me. And Tarte blushes are very pigmented, so I could, you know, build it up if I needed to. I could go in more light-handed. And also Tarte blushes are very long-lasting on the skin. I think these are what, the 12-hour Amazonian clay, and they do last for a very long time. So I would choose Tarte Paaarty as my neutral blush for wearing every single day. And then for highlight, this was the first highlight that popped into my head, and I was like, think about it. Went over to my little highlight section. Nah, my highlight section is not little, let's be serious. Went over to my highlight collection, and I was like, think about it, think about it. And again, there was like palettes I was going towards, so I was like, no, try to stick with a single. And I had to go with my first choice, my first thought, and that is TheBalm Mary Luminizer. Mary Luminizer is very special to me. She was my first ever highlight that I purchased. She's currently in my 2018 Project Pan because I'm like, how have I not hit pan on Mary Lou? If this is the first highlight that I ever owned and the only highlight I owned for a while, how have I not hit pan on this thing? It's crazy. But I love this highlight, and out of all of them, like I didn't want anything that had too much color. Like have some highlights that have like, you know, some purple shift to it, some pink shift to it, things like that. I didn't want anything like that. I don't like too gold of a highlight on me because that won't reflect well on my skin all year round type of thing. So I wanted something that kind of has this more of like a pearly more of a pearly highlight, but not straight like white, not too pearly. Like this one has just like a hint of champagne in it as well. And Mirror Luminizer is beautiful. You can build it up so it's blinding on you. You can go softer and have it be more of a natural highlight. So I felt like it would be good for just like all occasions. So if I had to choose one highlight, it's gonna be my girl, Mary Lou. So next up I have the eyeshadow palette category, and this one I actually kind of got put on the spot when I did my, I believe it was my Q&A that I did recently. I'll have that one linked down below, but someone asked me something along the lines of if I could only keep one eyeshadow palette. And I was like, man, I've already been thinking about this question for this tag video. What would it be? And in the Q&A, I said it would be the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I chose this palette because it has a ton of shades. It has the 35 shades in here, and there's a huge variety of shades. So if I wanted something extremely neutral, I could get that. If I wanted something pinky, I could get that. If I wanted something warm, I could get that. If I wanted to do pops of color like I do occasionally, I can get that in here. If I want something super deep, I can get that in here. There's a lot of different shades in here and a lot of different color combinations I could play with. If you can tell from my palette, I don't usually have very dirty palettes. I'm very light-handed with my makeup, but this palette is very, very dirty because it has been loved on. And still, I mean, as many times as I've gone into this palette, there's still so many different color combinations that I could do with this. So if this was the only palette that I could have, I feel like I could still do my neutrals and do what I want to do. I could still be able to play with makeup and play with eye makeup looks. So it would have to be this one, Jaclyn Morphe Hill. This would be the palette that I would choose. And I'm just gonna finish it off with the lip category. Like I said, I'm gonna do a regular lipstick and a liquid lipstick because those are the two that I wear most often. I'm not a super gloss person, and honestly, if you had asked me to pick a gloss, I have no idea what I would say. So my two options here, I actually have drugstore and high-end. And again, for the regular lipstick, I felt like this came in the Q&A as well. And what I chose from that video that kind of put me on the spot was from Maybelline, and this is the Truffle Tease lipstick. This is one of my favorite lipsticks. I've had this for a very long time. I love the Maybelline lipsticks. I recommend them a ton. These like kind of like regular guys, and they're nice and affordable. This one is very creamy. It's just such a nice, it's more of a brown nude, but it's not too overpowering. It kind of gives just a little bit of a, not so much of a glossy look, but just a bit of sheen to the lips as well. It's super comfortable. It's one of my most used lipsticks, and it's just one of my favorites. So if I had to go with a lipstick, I mean, I had to dig this one out of my purse. I was gone over the weekend, or not over the weekend, these past couple days here. I was gone, and this is what I brought with me because it's just, again, one of my most used lipsticks. And so because I had more of a brown nude for my regular lipstick, I wanted to do something that was more of like a pinky nude. Obviously, they're both gonna be nudes. Duh. So I wanted to do something more in the pinky nude variety. And I was looking at my favorite formulas for liquid lipsticks. I'm like, what color would I choose? What color would I choose? And this is probably one of my most worn liquid lipsticks at the moment. And again, one that I had to bring out of my purse. It's from Huda Beauty, and it is in Wifey. Oh, I'll do swatches of these so you can see them. Just, I mean, in case you're new here and you've never seen these two lipsticks ever. There is Truffle Tease from Maybelline, but Huda Beauty has one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. It's very different from a lot I try. It's very kind of like watery and like liquidy and such, but once you put it on, they stay on. I wear these to a lot of like concerts. I wore Huda Beauty so much last summer when we would go out for long periods of time. See, there it is, and it's just, it's such a pretty pink nude. I mean, it's just pretty. So this is one that I'm just reaching for a ton. It's nice and kind of like, it's more of like kind of like a neutral pink on the lips as well, but again, just one of my favorite formulas, one that I feel like lasts a really long time. I have so many of the Huda liquid lipsticks, it's kind of ridiculous, but this was tough with lipsticks. It really was, because there's so many others that I would want to keep. Like, it's a cruel thing if you're telling me I could, you know, only keep one lipstick and then I, you know, kind of cheat it with two. Like, that's just mean, but those would be it. Maybelline Truffle Tease, Huda Beauty Wifey, and after that, it's that's gonna do it for today's video. I guess that's gonna be everything for today's video, taking on the if I can only keep one tag. Again, make sure to check out Kelly's video down below, the originator of this tag, one of my friends. She comes up with so many good YouTube video ideas here. And so make sure to check out Hot Mess Mama MD. I'll have her video linked down below as well. Thank you so much for asking me to do this collab with you, and I highly recommend you go over and check out her channel. I'm excited to see what she chose for each of her categories, but other than that, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy this one or you found it entertaining, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.